There's a famous quote attributed to Eleanor Roosevelt: "Do one thing every day that scares you." Author Jeff Chu certainly took that advice to heart when he decided to meet with the head of the Westboro Baptist Church. Jeff is gay, and Westboro is one of the most overtly homophobic organizations in the United States. Tell us a little bit about your background, your story, why it is that you chose to embark on this journey to write this book.
I grew up Baptist, and I felt like when I came out, I couldn't find anything to read that brought in different perspectives, that didn't just shout at me or give me polemics. And I wanted to find people's stories. And one of the stories that I felt like I needed to find was the Westboro story.
What was it like actually going there and sitting down with Fred Phelps?
You know, one of the things that I learned is you called them homophobic. I don't think that's actually an accurate term. I think they're anti-gay. I don't think they're afraid of gay people at all. I think they're just very anti-gay, and they believe that God is anti-gay. One of the striking things for me was how they define love, because everybody says they're incredibly hateful. But the fact is they see themselves as the most loving people in America because they think we're all going to hell. And what kind of people would they be if they didn't tell us and didn't give us a chance to turn around and repent?
You write that one of the things that you feared most, perhaps, of going to see them and to sit down with Fred Phelps was that, oh, wow, what if it turned out that you thought that they were right upon leaving there? You know, how did you leave it?
Considering I married my husband last September, I think they did not win me over. There were a couple of moments, because I am naturally skeptical and cynical, and maybe that's why I'm a journalist. I'm sometimes skeptical and cynical of my own beliefs. And so there were certainly moments when I was there, seeing how deeply felt their beliefs are, I did genuinely wonder, what if I am wrong? What if I am going to hell? And what if this band of 40 believers they're really the last people on earth who know the truth? And then I got scared of that thought and I ran away from it.
And so overall, I mean, your book it just came out. How have people been responding? Do you have other people that have been reaching out to you that, you know, that grapple with the same thing of being someone that not only comes from a religious background, but is still religious and, you know, is also homosexual and finds a way to try to balance those two?
I don't think it's just for people who are struggling. I think it can be an informative book for people who are trying to understand the political climate in the country, understand why things are so polarized, understand why so many evangelicals are against gay marriage, for instance. But I have heard from a lot of people, and that's been incredibly gratifying, people who say, you know, I have a story to tell. I've been trying to sort this stuff out. I'm confused. I don't really know what to think. I want to be atheist, but I can't. So there's such a range of stories out there, and I think it just helps to hear other people's stories, to know you're not alone, to know that other people are struggling with faith and sexuality at the same time. It's actually been tough for me personally, you know, working in the quote-unquote liberal media elite here in New York. There have been times when colleagues and friends have said to me, why are you struggling so hard? Why don't you just ditch this stuff? Clearly you're not wanted. You would be better off not believing in God. And I think what often people have to understand is it's not a choice in that way. It's not just a switch that I can flick off and suddenly I don't believe anymore. My faith is as much a part of my life as my sexuality is. It illuminates something for me. It is integral to who I am. And I think for people who are struggling with the issue, I would encourage them to endure and to persevere as hard as it may be. For people who are on the outside of the issue, who don't feel that struggle themselves and maybe aren't religious, I would say try to be a little more empathetic